Hey, coaches, welcome back to Football Talk with Coach Chip. Today we're going to be going a little throwback, a little old school, under center. Oh, no, it's not power T or power bone. It's a little one back, something we did several years ago when we were transitioning and moving towards spread concepts. We threw the ball a pretty good piece, but it was under center. And this episode was inspired by Coach Whalen, who sent me an email at seagle.chip@gmail.com asking about one of the videos from a while back about the counter, where I diagrammed a counter off the toss where you actually tossed it to the running back, and then he stuck his cleats in the ground and came back and ran counter. And I made the comment that Florida used to run it back in the day when Spurrior was there. Well, he emailed me, and these things, I try to make them evergreen, which means no matter if you're watching them today or you're watching them 20 years from now, they're still relevant and still has some context. And he sent me an email. More proof, I will respond. And I've seen several on social media people say, hey, hit up Coach Chip. He'll hit you back. And I don't know when he sent it. I just saw it a week ago or so. And I started looking. He asked me, he said, where can I find some tape of that or clip? And so I went back to the period where I remembered seeing it. And I went through a whole bunch of old Florida stuff from the early 90s all the way up through, I guess, the year they won the national title when they beat Florida State. And all I could find was them tossing it and the guy coming back, the back coming back the other way, almost like a one back reverse, if you will. It was a counter, but they weren't counter blocking it. And I said, surely to God, I did not misremember this, but maybe I did. And I told him that when I hit him back, but I did go back and find video from where we did it back in 2012. And I've got that in this episode of Coach Chip, but I decided to go ahead and do a whole series on it, this four plays. And let's talk about it. All right, here's the toss sweep that sets it up. One back, toss sweep. And you can see how we block toss sweep. It's, we're pulling both guards because it's an odd front. The reason I drew it up against an odd front, because the clip you're going to see of us doing it's against an odd front team. And one of the reasons I like this right here by going tight and wing, you're now forcing the outside backer to come up and play. Now, there's played back a little bit, but he's got to play this right here. He's got to play a 9. And if we get him reached, whether he's off or whether he's up on the line, this guy's got to play. He's got to be forced. He's a cornerback, y'all. Okay? He's a cornerback. He doesn't make a living making tackles. So if you can force somebody to do something that they don't like to do or not coached to do as much as others, then you're money ahead right there. Defenses talk about making offenses play left-handed. This is making a defense play left-handed because you're making a player who doesn't normally play force. And that's the reason I like this toss sweep right here. Like I said, it's throwback. It's throwback, and you're only limited by your imagination. All right, now, the counter that comes off this toss. There it is. Let you soak that in. Now, we ran it GH. I think at the time we were transitioning, we were still calling this guy an F. We may have gone that year. I know the first few years we called him an F, and then we changed it to an H somewhere around 12, 13. And this video I'm going to show you, the clip is from 13. From 12, excuse me. We're just blocking GH or GF counter. The guard pulls and kicks. The wrapper, the H or the F, whatever you want to call him, the sniffer, he's the wrapper. Okay. And this guy, and I forget the exact coaching point. We told him, I think it was, take your toss steps, and as soon as you catch it, you start gearing down. And we even had it where he put his outside cleat in the ground right here and came back, which gives that wing back time to come all the way from outside the tight end and wrap back in here. Now, you may look at it and say, oh, that's just clinic talk, and, that doesn't really work. And, I understand that, except I've got receipts. All right, so here you see it. There's one back. Here's your wing. We are going to pull, kick here, pull, and wrap here on this stack backer. You can see they're in a 3-3. There's your kick, there's your wrap, and he's untouched until he gets to the end zone. Okay, let's look at it again in slow-mo. Okay, watch the running back. He's going to go 1, 2, 3, little stutter step, boom, run to daylight. And you're just blocking it like you normally block counter. I'll tag in the comments below the the counter video that Coach Whalen was referring to. Okay, and I'll also tag another one on how we block the play action pass, which is coming up right here. Okay, and I won't get into all the details, all the weeds of how we block it. You're going to need to go below, find that link on pulling guards on play action pass and how they make linebackers react. Again, basically the same defense we were up against. And this is just a boot pass where we're faking the counter, faking the toss, really have him sell this thing through the line of scrimmage to make this guy think, this guy think, this guy think, displace backers and DBs with great fakes. Great fake is better than a great block. Great block normally takes out one person. Great fake, unlimited how many people you can take out. So great fakes are better than great blocks, and you got to sell that. You need to reward your running backs for great fakes the same way we reward linemen for great blocks. Whatever it is you give a lineman for a pancake, a back needs to get the same reward for a great fake because it's just as important for the success of a play. You see, now basically he's just going to block down 2 steps. If he's not engaged after 2, he shuffles back, usually going to pick up this backside 9 coming off the edge. We slow him down because we hit him. We want to make him think it's toss. We're going to bang him and then release right here. That gives the backer time to react, giving the tight end a little run through right here. And he just running a drag, not as deep as some run it, but I like to drag a little bit deeper than, 6 yards. And if I'm worried about him being too deep, I'll tell him 5, and he may wind up at 7 or 8, and we can live with that. And notice we're really selling the counter with the wing back coming back right here like he's going to wrap, and he's going to read this D end. If the D end runs upfield, he's going to come up here and hit the flat, no deeper than 5. I always tell him 3 to 4, which gets them from going too far and getting back here in his business. All right, if the end squeezes, well-coached team, the pulling guard, instead of kicking, will log. The wingback will see that, and he'll bubble around the log and then get in the flat. Okay, quarterback, of course, going to fake the toss and boot out right here. I teach the quarterback, throw the ball, throw the ball, throw the ball on the toss. He said, what are you talking about, coach? Then I tell him, don't let go of it. In other words, don't just give a token fake. Sling the cold living crap out of that ball and don't let go of it. Let these people see that ball being slung hard out here. Okay. And then he'll boot out here and he's reading the end also. End squeezes, he'll keep rolling, may even keep it if everybody runs with the receivers. If he runs upfield, we kick him. He'll settle right in here about the B gap, maybe a little deeper depending on what happens. Down, stay with him. Right here, we're going to bang with eyes inside. Both these guys, and do a combo double team without driving him. If the mic comes, well, no, the tackle will get him if the mic comes. Let him block down, him hit with eyes in here, looking for this backer coming here. Okay, and that's where we do it. And he can work back. He can work back as well. When nothing comes, he works back. Okay, and there's a whole video on that, and I'll tag it down below. And then you can see what we do here. We got a corner from number 1. We got kind of a 10, 12-yard out from number 2, drag, flat. And then you got a little switch off of it right here. I just call this switch post. Tells the tight end you're going to bang, post, and that's when you see that safety, they're getting involved coming downhill here, or he's saying, oh, it's the counter, boom, right here, because he's unaccounted for in the blocking scheme. And some teams will do that. So as soon as you see that, you give your call or your tag for the little post on the back side. And then you can do a switch here, and you can make this your default setting if you want to. It's like salt when you're cooking, season to taste. And he's going to run the out, and he's going to run the corner. But this guy here is always in the flat. The wing back's always in the flat. All right, it's not a very long video, but it's just a little series that was inspired by Coach Whalen and one of his email that he sent to Football Talk with Coach Chip about a week ago, I guess. I saw it earlier this week. And so you can see my contact info. I will hit you back. Okay, it may not be the answer you want. It may not be the right answer for what you need, but I will hit you back, whether it be on Facebook at Football Talk with Coach Chip, whether it be on Twitter at Coach Chip. I believe it's at Chip Seagle as well. And that's SEAGLE. As you can see, my email down here at the bottom, email seagle.chip@gmail.com. All right, don't forget our friends at right-equipment.com. They have everything you need for your weight room. They can help you out. They can cater to your budget restrictions. This football channel, YouTube channel about football is for everybody, but it's focused on your smaller programs, guys with limited resources, limited practice time, limited numbers as far as players. And that's exactly what Right Equipment is looking to help too. They do everything from college programs on down to middle schools. They've done fire departments. They've done rec centers. And if you've got budgetary restrictions, they can work with you. Okay. You have to talk to the guys up there for the details. I do not work for Right Equipment, but I have bought a boatload of Right Equipment or been a part of programs over the literally 40 years that I've been in coaching. Bought from Leo Wright, former high school football coach in the state of Alabama, coached some of the biggest schools and biggest programs in the state before he got out of it, and went into Right Equipment, servicing programs, again, all over the state of Alabama, and then branching out into the surrounding states. And now he's out in Utah, and they're in college programs and just do a great job. You can find them on Facebook too, Right Equipment. But they have a website, right-equipment.com. All right, y'all. It hadn't been too long a video, but that's a little package you can do, a little old school. Maybe you're a spread team that wants a more of a power thing. You can run power out of this. You can run trap. You can run zone. There's a nasty wingback counter that you can run off of it, where you pull the guard and kick, and you do an underneath handoff, almost like an old wing T play. And it's just a nice little change up, and you can see it's real simple. It's real basic. And I think when we put it in, and by the way, the guy I showed you that year was our backup tailback in 2012. He wasn't the backup for long. The guy in front of him graduated, and the next year he ran for over 2,500 yards, running something similar to what you just saw. And then his senior year, he was banged up and dinged up and only ran for about 1,500, wound up to a pretty good career at Jacksonville State. And it took us about 5 minutes to teach it to him. And we didn't come in and say, all right, this is what you got to do. He said, we told him this is what we want you to do. Because quarterback's just pitching it. Okay, quarterback's just pitching it. Excuse me. Quarterback's just running toss. Nothing changes for him. You tell your running back, this is what I want you to do. This is where I want you to end up. And that's what we did with him. He was just a sophomore. And we wrapped it up for about 5 minutes. You're not frigging around with your line, which remember, that's one of my taboo things you don't do. Line's blocking counter. The GH counter. You're not messing with them. Okay, quarterback's just pitching it and then faking the boot. The only guy you got to mess with is running back. And why go in there and tell him this is the way you got to do it? Let him do it the way he needs to do it. See if he can wind up. Point A is down here. Point A is down here. Point B is right here. Let that kid show you how he gets from point A to point B and what works for him. It's kind of like a baseball coach. Kid's hitting 400 in Babe Ruth League, and he comes to the high school team, and the high school coach tries to teach him how to hit the ball the way he wants him to hit the ball, and changes everything. Now the kid's hitting 250. All right, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Let an athlete be an athlete, or as Pat Dye used to say about Bo Jackson, just let Bo be Bo. And you say, well, this kid ain't Bo. No, but he's a human being, and he has ways of doing things. and see if it works. Okay. And then tweak him up. So, okay, that's pretty good. But what if we do this right here? Try that. Like I said, I still remember the day we put it in. It was nearly 10 years ago. Okay. From the time I made this video. It took us 5 minutes working with him in pre-practice. We got out there. He did a little bit of it in his ID time. Boom, we came to tea time. Worked like a charm. And you see what happened during the game. All right, that's it. Hey, be sure to hit me up. You got comments down below. Okay, it's Football Talk with Coach Chip. Remember, right equipment. And until next time, coaches. Oh, I almost forgot. Share. I know most of y'all that watch this are already subscribers. Share it. Share it on your social media. Tell your friends about it. Okay? Comment down below. And if you're not sharing, what's wrong with you? Just click on a little share. If you're not subscribing, what's wrong with you? Click on the subscribe button. All right. Till next time. Be elite.